Hello and welcome to another Betfred Sports video right here in the Quest Media Network studio. Now, of course, there's only one place to start today, and that was from Sunday's Premier League clash between Manchester City and Manchester United. Peter, 6-3 to City, hat-trick for Foden, hat-trick for Haaland, and I know that entering that game, Haaland was priced at 10-1 to get the hat-trick, and that's had financial implications for yourself.
Well, it did. It's cost Fred Dolan, the boss, at least £50,000. He went best price because he was convinced that Haaland wouldn't make it 3 hat-tricks on the run, but he was wrong with that one because he did, and it's cost him 50,000. But as always, he always pays out with a smile, even if he scores those 3 goals against his beloved Manchester United. And weren't United poor?
Yeah, they were extremely poor. I mean, you turn up to a derby, you've at least got to show some passion, but to concede 6 goals, I don't care how good the other side is, it's just not acceptable.
Well, 4-0 at half-time, you can imagine what the coach had to say about that. They just didn't look up for it. The midfield was completely overrun, looked completely outclassed, and that's a team that's got Fernandes and Eriksen in. So you can imagine how they must have felt. Moaner of the match, it's got to be Fernandes, straight off, moaning. I mean, how he thinks that's going to work against referees, I'll never know. Because the referee's natural inclination is, I'm not going to give him the next one. Next 50-50, he's not going to win. Because he's moan all the time. He wants to just concentrate on improving his game. And then when United got 3 goals back, towards the end of the game, which saved us a fortune, I've got to say, because he would have predicted 6-3, and I'll come to that in a minute. But when they got those 3 goals back, it was virtually City's reserves then, wasn't it? It was like squad players on, just going through the motions. But I bet Pep wasn't pleased that they conceded 3.
No.
It was just an amazing game with a dominant team completely outclassing the other team, and it's no wonder that so many United fans were leaving in the droves at half time. Absolutely. They were so distraught with it. So 6-3, believe it or not, we had about 20 people in the country who all got on 6-3. And it was available between 150 to 1 at one stage, and then it was 300 to 1 at one stage, and it went to 150 to 1. We had lots of winners who had £1 on and £2 and £5, just having a punt on 6-3. But we've got a lady from Devon who had a £5 on, so she's won 1,500 on the back of that. So I'll be speaking to her later. And of course, that sort of result does have massive effects on the title. So City, well, they've been favourites since July, since they last won it. But they're 1-4 now, so the odds are shortening all the time on City to win the title. But significantly, Arsenal are now second favourites. So Arsenal still lead City by 1 point at the moment. They're 7-1. They've overtaken Liverpool after their disappointing, I suppose, from the Liverpool point of view, home draw against Brighton. They're now 10-1. Spurs 20-1. Chelsea 28-1, and United. They're drifting back out again, back to 66-1. United for the title. And really, that is generous because on that kind of form, they are going to get nowhere near the title. They'll be struggling for a top 4 finish after that. Because it's going to take a lot to get that out of the system. Yeah,
of course it is. Awful defeat for Manchester United. And as Peter said then, they've drifted out to 66-1 to win the Premier League title this season, whereas the blue side of Manchester City, they are now favourites. They are priced at 1-4. Well, we've got a fixture this evening taking place. It comes at the King Power Stadium. It's between Leicester City and Nottingham Forest. That is a real basement battle, and a defeat for the Foxes would have major implications, especially for manager Brendan Rodgers. Peter, very quickly, Leicester have got to win this one.
Yeah, they have. It's not so long ago that they won the actual Premier League, and the team hasn't changed that much. There's still players around, or certainly in the squad, who figured in that fantastic achievement when they beat all the odds, 5,000 to 1 to go and win the Premier League. So it is time for them to prove themselves once again. But basically, they're too good to be relegated, I'd say. But we've heard that before, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, absolutely. So, just to recap, a massive one at the basement. It's Leicester City taking on Nottingham Forest. A defeat for the Foxes will probably signal the end for Brendan Rodgers. Well, there's always big winners at Betfred. This week's no different. One punter has scooped 125 grand, Peter. It's all right for some.
Yeah, well, he's won 125,000 in the last 5 years. His latest win is 78,000. He goes on the 49s and the Irish Lottery. At the weekend, he bet £55, which I know is a substantial amount, but his return was 135,000. He bet £55. He's won 78,000. Now, if you add it to his previous wins, his 3 other wins, it comes to 135,000 over the last four or 5 years. He's a really sensible bloke because he puts all his money onto his mortgage, and he's paid off half his mortgage now, thanks to Betfred, on his 4-bedroom detached house in Newtonley Willows, which isn't a million miles away from here. He runs a shop in Newtonley Willows, and he goes out shopping in Earlstown. And he's going to go on a holiday to Turkey to celebrate, although, as I say, the vast majority of his windfall, his 135,000, has gone on paid where he says he's half his mortgage.
Brilliant stuff. Another big win at Betfred. It could be you, but you have to be in it to win it. Enjoy your winnings. Well, just to recap, as I said a moment ago, we've got a big game in the Premier League tonight. It's Leicester City hosting Nottingham Forest, and that one is a big one because, of course, they are both second to bottom and bottom of the Premier League table. And if you do fancy a punt on that clash or any other sport coming up, Betfred stores are now open, but you can also bet online and via their app.